This fight could have happened time ago.
It's happening now, so you should be happy.
I'm just telling you though.
You know what's happening? You know, once I knock you out, once I smash you up,
you're gonna get smashed. You're gonna get smashed.
Once I smash you up, once I smash you up, you're coming up with excuses. That's why you know you've lost the fight. I'm looking at you in your eyes now.
You know for a fact what I'm bringing. You know for a fact what I'm bringing. You know what I'm bringing.
Listen, I'm taking it. I'm the one who sent my guy to you, to your team, to say, let's make the fight happen.
This fight for time.
Mel, no one ever come knocking on my door.
It's public that I want this fight.
Yeah, but
you're going to get dealt with on the 19th.
Selling it.
Look at me, that's what's happening to you.
Saying it is a big thing. Going around the public saying, I want to fight, can't. But you know what? Physically, when you send someone to the person, which I had to do, because I heard you talking about this fight.
Yeah, because every time we don't talk about it, you go, oh, you don't give me no respect. That's why I'm being quiet. That's why I'm being quiet this time, and it's happening.
You're all talk,
when I give it,
you're all talk. No, you're all talk. That's what I'm saying to you. No one come knocking on my door and said, let's make the fight happen. That's the thing. No one did that.
Let's take a deep breath.
But the thing is, it was my team that had to go and knock on their door and said, let's make the fight happen.
You wanted it, and I didn't want it.
Easy.
I know you wanted it, but like I say,
we'll get to this. We'll get to this. Time out. Let's go back to the very beginning. Let's talk about the sparring. Who wants to tell me about the sparring? Get to the beginning.
He always tells the truth for me. He says it's school. He's telling me at school. I'm just going to give a bit of credit here and say this. You've got very fast hands, probably fast hands I've been in with, yeah, far from. But when my timing comes, you'll know what happened in that sparring. No one schooled. You didn't school me.
Oh,
I've never been schooled.
You tell me what happened in that sparring. And then you tell me.
When it comes to sparring in England camp, when it gets heated up, they let it be. They let it be. Obviously, I was the #1 in the country. I was the one who was qualified. I was the one who won the world championships. And then they put this kid in front of me, Brook at the time. He was a young kid. They put him in the ring. Man schooled him. Put him in his place. Put him in his place. Man schooled him. Get the next guy in there. I mean, that's what it was. Because that's the way I used to roll. You know what I mean? Whoever they put in the ring, it was a war. Whoever steps in that square circle, it's time to fight. And obviously with Kel got it. You know what I mean? Kel got a good tasting of a beating, and after that, you never heard from Kel, Brook.
You didn't. What? You give me a beating? How did that happen? You did not give me a beating.
You know what the thing is, Kel?
I've never took a beating in my life.
I mean,
never.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, look. If you wasn't a beating, I don't know what you call it. It was a smashing up. But I don't know what you call it. If you don't want to call it a beating, what you want to call it?
So you come out there like, so you was from getting wet, did you?
No, I just walked out nice and easy. There's another sparring partner.
Yeah.
Like there's another sparring partner. Give him a little slap up and get off.
So this, you're going to obviously show this. You're going to show this in this fight, aren't you?
100%.
You're going to show this, are you?
I want to make it look so easy that you're going to...
Kel, you spent most of your career chasing this guy. Have you wasted time? Or has it held your career back? You mentioned that in the press conference. Has it affected you in your career? Or do you think you've spent most of your time obsessing about this fight?
I've been doing my thing, I'm just saying.
Tell the truth, you've been obsessed.
What about what? You're all the best, all I'm saying.
Look, you've been chasing wanting what I've had.
I'm a fighter, I'm not
a
celebrity going off like that. I'm here to put you to sleep, that's what I'm here to do. We will come, we're going to see.
You are really. There is that jealousy, there isn't it?
I'm not a jealous kid. Any other fighter would have walked away with demands what you wanted, what you want. But I've made it happen on Sky so the people, the fans can finally see what's going to happen in this fight. Because I'm sick of being asked the question, you should have been, why didn't it happen before? You should be sicker when you're fighting, Kel. That's all I have every day in my life. Now you're here.
Have you wasted time chasing it?
I ain't wasted time, I'm doing my thing. I've been in big fights. You know, he's gone through his path. I've done my path. Welcome world champs, both we've been in big fights. But this is a fight that the British fans need.
Tell me what you mean. In the press conference, you mentioned a lack of acknowledgement. What do you mean by that? How's that hurt you?
It's never given me due. It's never given me respect. You've done what you've done, all well and good for amateurs. I've been the first one on bills. I've been the last when everyone's walking out. I've had to do it the hard way. I've had to do it the hard way. I got to my position to be mandatory challenger for the world title. I went to America and won it, and I still get no respect.
Do you want him to acknowledge your achievements? Is that what you want?
I just want that acknowledement, that respect.
I respect that.
You're just saying it.
I respect that. I respect that. Look, you won a world title. He went to America. He fought there. I'm done.
Have you ducked Kel in the past?
No. I had reasons the fight didn't happen. It's not because I'm scared or he's scared. It's just that it just would never happen at the time. But now, obviously, it's happening. I think I'm way above what he's got to offer. There's other bigger fights out there for me.
So how come that we come down to like these? If you're levels above and you want to challenge yourself, then because I'm that rubbish, I'm that levels below you.
I'm still taking the fight on it.
Yeah. Why do I have to? Why was it being a big thing in this contract to come down to these ways? You know full well. So why don't we just?
I'm a 147 fighter, bro.
You're not 147 fighter.
I am 147
Get some
fighter.
scales out now. You're not 147 fighter.
I'm at 150 something. Obviously, I'm not going to be the same weight.
So why don't we come in at a more healthier way? Why do we have to drag yourself down?
But the fight's at 149. That's more than healthy.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So why? I know, but I can't really get into the contract-wise. But you know what's been happening behind the scenes with this. And if I'm that level below, why don't you have that confidence?
In previous interviews, I will fight Amir at whatever weight 147 it is. I'll come down to 147. You said it. I posted it.
No, this was time ago. This was a while ago.
But no. You said it.
Do you think it'd make a difference?
It will make a difference because he'll still get knocked out. That's the thing. Honestly speaking.
Why don't we do it now then? Like, why don't we just? Why does it have to be them weights then? If I'm levels below, why?
Because
there's no title on the line. There's no title. The weight you're getting knocked out. You are going to get knocked out of me.
I can see right through your eyes.
Do I look then?
You've lost the fight already.
Are you sure?
Honestly, you.
Or do you think that I'm driven and I'm wanting to take your chin off?
No, not at all.
Are you sure?
Not at all, mate. I can see right through you, mate.
Okay.
You are empty inside. You're scared.
Right. I'm scared.
Honestly, you are. Deep down, that's why you're talking so much.
No, I'm not.
The way you're talking and going on about it.
I want you to know. Yeah, I want you to know. I want you to look at me and understand that I'm gonna be over with you when you're out cold. You're getting knocked out. You know what it's like to be knocked spark out, don't you? It's gonna happen again.
It's going to be a war. We both know we don't like each other.
Should we stand in the middle of the ring when Belgium and have a war? Should we do that?
We'll have a war, that's all.
You want to do that?
We'll have a war, yeah, 100%.
Do you want to do that?
Or are you going to get a handshake? Fight's on. The public get what they want. You both get what you want. Who's the A side?
I'll let you answer.
He's the A side.
Say that again.
You're the A side.
Thank you.
Why'd you say that?
You like that, don't you?
We're the better fighter, that's why.
The better fighter. We're gonna see.
And I'm gonna beat you. Basically, the A side is normally the person who's gonna win the fight.
You're gonna win then. There's no point of having a fight.
You're giving ground. Why is the A side? What's in your head?
He lost the fight. I told you. He's already lost the fight.
He loves it.
He's already lost the fight.
I'll give him his due. He's got a bigger profile than me. That's the only reason. That's why.
Better fighter as well.
You're not the better fighter.
Better fighter, beat better people.
You're not the better fighter. You can't.
Won 2 world titles in his career, not 1.
No.
I mean, fought the bigger names.
You're not a better fighter than me.
But
and the world's going to see that on the 19th of February.
Amir, you say Kel's empty. He's scared inside. What do you mean by that? What do you see?
I can see the way he's reacting. Crazy. Screaming. Calm down, man. Relax. You chill. You got the fight now. You wanted the fight.
That's what I mean. I've been quiet, but now we have got the fight. I'm being vocal about this.
I've never seen him so on the edge.
I'm on the edge. I'm worried. I'm scared.
Do you think he's being vocal because the fight's finally signed?
He's finally signed. He's thinking to himself that, look, I've just got myself into a beating. That's what's happened. You're getting yourself into a beating. And now he's coming. He's getting a bit real now for him. And he's thinking, wow.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Do you reckon?
I mean, you managed to have that crossover appeal.
Yeah.
And we saw in the jungle, we saw you on reality TV.
It was my biggest
Are you
fan.
a boxer or a celebrity now?
Biggest fan he was.
Biggest fan.
And I'm a celebrity. I heard he's watching it every night.
When you saw him in the jungle, what do you think?
How did your favourite show? He's a fan.
Favourite show?
How did you become a fan of mine?
It is my favourite show. I do love it.
Do you like it? Do you watch me on it?
You mentioned him as a fan. That's what you said. You said
so I'm a fan.
Yeah. No, do you watch it though?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was funny, funny when you were like screaming with snakes. Like, yeah.
It was alright.
Look, he knows. You can feel it. He knows what's coming.
What's coming? What is coming? I've been punched in the face for a living. I've been knocked down. What am I going to be scared of? I'm not scared of nothing. Like, you got nothing else to bring.
Kel, how are you going to control your anger fight night? All the frustration, the years of waiting.
That's a good question. It's a good question, but it'll go for both of us, you know.
Yeah,
There's a lot on the line, you know. I think at times we're going to be exchanging. There's going to be fireworks.
Look, this fight, it's going to be a war. We both know we don't like each other, and come fight night, we're going to...
Should we get the fans, should we stand in the middle of the ring at Belgrade and have a war?
It is, that's what it is.
Should we do
We're
that?
going to have a war, that's what it is.
You want to do that?
We'll have a war, yeah, 100%.
Do you want to do that?
Man, whatever you want to bring to the table, you're going to get dealt with. Whatever it is, if it's a war, if it's a little chess match, or whatever it is.
We'll stand in the middle of the ring and have a war.
Kel, a defeat to Amir Khan, is it unthinkable to you? How would you feel? If you lost to Amir Khan, is it unthinkable? Is it something you've thought about?
It's unthinkable for me, you know, because it's been talked about that much, and I'd have to walk with my head down for the rest of my life, you know, because it's. So he knows this as well. This is a lot of pressure on this fight, because of how long it's been going on, the build-up, and us being both from up north, and not even up north. This is like the best in Britain. This is, you know what I mean. This is Khan Brook. This is the one, and this is bragging rights to the maximum.
Amir?
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Defeat. How would you handle it?
Defeat. I've not thought of it, and I don't want to think of it because obviously. If I can't lose the fight. That's why I am gonna be training the hardest out. For me, it is equivalent to like a world title fight.
But what happens if you do?
I'm not thought of it, and I'm not thinking about that. It's not gonna happen.
Well, they got my attention. I don't ever remember going on the record and saying that if Khan Brook ever fights that I was going to be over it. Because one thing we can count on is it's pretty much kind of a career match. For example, Amir Khan is 35 years old. I believe he turns 36 in December. Kell Brook is 35 years old as well. He turns 36 in May. Now, it's no secret that Amir Khan, here's his resume, 34-5 with 21 KOs, has been knocked out 4 times. Or stopped 4 times. His last fight was nearly 3 years ago against Billy Dib. Billy Dib, former, what division was he champion? 130, 135, I forgot. I covered this card. 130-pound champion, IBF. Where was he at? Yeah, IBF, 130-pound champion, lost to Tevin Farmer. So his real last legitimate fight was against Terrence Crawford on pay-per-view. 6-round stoppage. He quit because Terrence Crawford was about to do some real nasty things to him. Some real nasty shit was about to go down. Of course, he had that big fight with Canelo Alvarez. Well, we just know what happened there. He got put to sleep. Chris Algieri was his most significant win. Well, him and Devin Alexander. What was his most significant win at 147 pounds? Algieri or Devin Alexander? Either or. And then, of course, Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson. Where's he at? Brutus Prescott, the big upset there. His chin has been pretty questionable, you know? Kell Brook, 39-3. Wants the camera. 39-3 with 27 KOs. The special one. Ezekiel Brinsley Brook, that's his real name. And he's Jamaican too. Long story. I got like some intel from his pop. I mean, long story. Controversial one. His last fight was also he got beat up by Terrence Crawford in 4 rounds. November of 2014. Excuse me, November 14th of 2020. Most significant win of his career was Sean Porter, that big upset that happened in the StubHub Center. He was in the running to get Floyd Mayweather for a little bit, but Floyd Mayweather went on to fight Andre Berto. 2 big fights in which he got both of his eye sockets broken. Golovkin, he was holding his ground in the Golovkin fight, and then, well, Golovkin broke his face. Errol Spence, he was holding his ground in the Spence fight, even though he was losing. It was still a pretty close fight. He was in it. Spence broke his face. He went from moving all the way up to 160. You can't really say moving up, but in the case of a fighter competing at 147, he took on Golovkin on late notice at 160, then dropped back down to 147 and fought Errol Spence to defend his title. That's real big balls right there. Real big balls. You got to respect that. But after that, you can pretty much say he hasn't been the same. This mixed Zerafa fight right here, he's got a fight coming with Isaac Hartman, by the way. You know, I felt that this fight should have been a draw. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember covering this fight and like, yo, them cards is fucked up. I don't remember Kell Brook looking good. But around that time, he was still, you know, bullshitting around with the weight. As you can see, he weighed in for 150 for a fight that took place at 154. Still bullshitting around, waiting for the Amir Khan fight that's finally now here. So the fight here in the States is going to be taking place on ESPN Plus, 1 p.m. Eastern this weekend. Over in the UK, it's a pay-per-view. Of course, it's going to be a pay-per-view. The undercard is, yeah, but you do have some women's boxing on there. Natasha Jonas, I'm interested in her fight, but I'll be honest with you. Everybody else on the card, I don't know who the hell them people are. All right? But however, I'm really feeling good. Can we talk about it? Let's chew the fat for a little bit. By the way, I got my show notes here. Down below in the description box, I put everything we're going to be talking about the next hour down below. I told you when we do our live streams, we're going to be more, you know, organized. I mean, I've been doing this shit for years now, you know, like time to, you know, grow up the brand and shit. So, but I feel great. Can I tell you that like my schedule, I forgot about the Maidana fight. Can I tell you my schedule is freed up until June? So what I'm doing now is I've been coming down, I had a lot of legal shit going on, as I always do. But in this case, the pendulum has swung. T Street is the bona fide A-side now, in full control of his future and his destiny. And the Brinks truck, back up the Brinks truck. I'm about to start cutting the promo. But also, I am still muzzled. It's only but so much I can talk about. So down below in the description box is the links to my social media platforms. I got a link tree down there, which is a link that you'll click the link. It sends you to all of my social media, my Instagram, my Facebook, FightView 360, which I'm going to be overhauling within the next like few weeks. Like, you know, we're getting back out into the field. They're lifting the mandates and everything. T Street is getting back out to the field. I don't know what fight I'm going to go to yet, but we're going to get out there. You know, I'm in good spirits, man. I'm in good spirits. Like, I feel great. You know, I wish I could really tell you guys, but I can't. So let's go over the show notes here before we really deep dive into Kell Brook, Amir Khan. Danny Jacobs loses a close fight to John Ryder on DAZN, February the 12th, 2022 in the UK. Where does Danny Jacobs go from here? Will Ryder get his 168-pound title shot against Canelo? We're just going over the topics. You know, and then we're going to go through things one by one. Canelo is expected to return May the 7th. Who will he fight? Dmitry Bivol on DAZN at 175, or a potential fight with GGG Golovkine in September if Golovkine defeats Murata in Japan. We're waiting on a new date for that to be announced soon. Golovkin is back in camp. Jermall Charlo arrested for an altercation with a family member. Will Canelo Charlo happen on Showtime pay-per-view? Maybe he got the news that Canelo probably not going to be fighting him, so he probably just beat up a family member. Them Charlos, man. But let me calm down. There's still some bad blood there. Still some bad blood there. So I don't want to, you know, throw any fuel on the flame. I love you, Charlos. Jaime Munguia versus Dmitry Ballard DAZN Golden Boy 4 card preview and breakdown. Undercard, Zepeda versus Louise. Veidas Preview Predictions. What's next for Jaime? I really don't give a shit about that card. But since I'm feeling good and I'm back into the swing of things, we're going to cover that card. We're going to be here Saturday. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm free. ESPN Plus picks up Jorge Linares versus Zaur Abdullaev. Both of them was Devin Haney victims. You know, well, Devin Haney was almost a Linares victim. Basically, they were both Devin Haney former opponents. They're also fighting on ESPN Plus this weekend, this Saturday, at 9:30 Eastern. So it's an early card. ESPN picks up Khan versus Brook. It's going to be 1 p.m. here in the States. A Tasha Jonas versus a Chris Namas on the undercard. Charlie Schofield versus a Jermaine Brown. I don't know who three of those names is. I only know Natasha Jonas. I don't know who them people are. You know, sue me. And finally, the final topic of the show is what's going on with PBC. PBC, pay-per-view numbers dipping fast. Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios flopped. Mayweather owes Logan Paul money. So, let's start here. And it's a little warm in here. Let's start here. Let's go on and start right here. What's next for Danny Jacobs? 37-4 with 30 KOs. Y'all think he won this fight this weekend? I think he won, but barely, like 115, 113 type shit. And for a close fight like that, he didn't take care of business. You can't go over to the UK, bro, when it's a Canelo fight on the line, bro. And Canelo wants to come to the UK to fight, bro, and lose to the #1 contender. That's like, bro. You know, it was a very frustrating performance. And, you know, Danny Jacobs now 35 years old. His last fight was against Gabriel Rosado, and a fight where a lot of people felt he didn't do enough to win. And that was in the end of 2020. Before that, he had another layoff for nearly a year when he had, you know, beat up Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And he had like Mickey Rourke with him. So, you know, there's some questions. Here, oh my bad, wrong screen. Let's go listen to John Ryder and Eddie Hearn and see what he has to say. And honestly, a part of me feels like John Ryder is not going to get that shot. Canelo is going to have his sights on 175 pounds. The Golovkine fight will likely happen, if it does happen, likely at 168. Golovkine's going to have to move up. Canelo ain't going to no 160. Because this ain't going to happen. Here, let me pull up the post-fight interview. They're going to make me log into the zone to listen to the post-fight interview from John Ryder. But yeah, Jacobs just didn't do enough. And I'm wondering, like, okay, like, you know, where does he go from here? You see what I'm saying? Because a loss like that is devastating. And, you know, he's guaranteed a lot of money, or, you know, he commands a lot of money from Matchroom. And with the political landscape right now, it's like, you know, Danny Jacobs, if there's any fights you do not lose, you shouldn't have lost to John Ryder, bro. You know, was it conditioning? I mean, he is competing at what is it? Did he not take him seriously? You know, maybe, you know, some outside shit going on. You know, he got the woman. You know, I don't know, man. It's none of my damn business. Hold on, I'm looking for this John Ryder interview. And the zone with this poopy interface is making me, you know, hold on, give me a minute. Let me pull up this interview. 1 minute. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. All right, here we are. So yeah, you know, that's not a good look. That's not a good look for Danny Jacobs. So it looks like to me, if I was a betting man, from what I've been researching, it doesn't look like Canelo is really too interested in Charlo. Now, I haven't had a chance to talk about it, but I'm interested in Canelo versus Charlo. I've been talking about it for years now. I would prefer, personally me, I would prefer Canelo Charlo over Canelo Bivol, even though I think Bivol would be a more competitive fight. Hold on, let me pull up this doggone interview here. They got me jumping through hoops. Where we at? But yeah, I think he done. You know, and you know, a fighter like him, it's like, all right, you lose this fight to John Ryder, don't bullshit around. Oh, they're gonna make me go through the whole damn broadcast. You lose to a fighter like John Ryder, it's like, all right, you know, it's the beginning, it's February pretty much. He needs to be back out there, Danny Jacobs, in June, you know, to get a win under his belt. If Canelo is not going to pick John Ryder, then try to get that rematch, you know, no later than July, and then he's got to be back out. This needs to be a 3-fight year for him. With losing a fight like that, this needs to be a 3-fight year for him. These fighters, you know, they take too many layoffs these days, and it's frustrating. What the hell is this? Get off my screen. It's frustrating. Hold on, I want to get to this post-fight interview. All right, here. Let's start here. By the way, take a time out. Like the video if you haven't. It still does help us if you like the video, despite the fact that YouTube decided to silence you and you're right to dislike the video. But you can still dislike it, but I'd rather you like it. Let's turn it up.
Lane scores at 115 to 113 for your winner by split decision. From Islington, London, England, John the Gorilla Ryder
He's pulled back the deficit from halfway with the performance of his career and gradually wound down the resilience of the former middleweight champion, John Ryder. A special, special night in British boxing for one of the most popular figures in the sport. Embraced here by Tony Sims and by Eddie Hearn. John Ryder talked about having nowhere to go if he lost.
I'm going to fast forward to the post-fight interview. Danny Jacobs walking out.
And now it's come true, and a world championship chance awaits for this man, John.
Hold on, fast forward to the post-fight interview. Yeah, Danny Jacobs, I think that's it, yo.
Quite incredible. Round 7.
I think this is it. Next topic we're going to move on to is basically we're going to roll right into Canelo, see what's going on with that.
He's had too many close fights and not got the nod. So, John, you smashed him, mate.
Okay, there's a reason why you're smiling, and that's because for the whole fight you actually had Jacobs, didn't you?
Yeah, it's hilarious. You know, I had him winning the fight, and you know he got robbed. You know, that's how I feel.
Come on,
but,
bro.
You know,
come on, bro.
He knows how I feel now. Jacobs knows how I feel now.
Well, look, let's
Damn,
listen
laughing
to our
at
winner
him.
because he's speaking to Chris now. We can go down to them.
That's kind of petty.
Well, John, the big win that's evaded you for most of your career has arrived tonight. Firstly, how do you feel?
It feels like a coming out party after 12 years in the game.
You've been the wrong side of a number of decisions that could have gone your way tonight. That was definitely close. Did you feel you'd done enough?
Yeah, I thought on the cards, I mean, you just said there that it was nip and tuck the first couple of rounds, but I thought I nicked a few of the early ones, and I thought it was quite convincing, but yeah, you've got to go back and watch it back and see where I went wrong, and me and Tony will pick the bones out of it for next time.
I'm sure you will. I think the first 6 rounds consensus was that Jacobs looked in control of the distance, and it looked like you had trouble closing that gap. What changed in the middle of the fight, do you think?
I think just getting a measure of him, looking at him, feeling his power. I mean, he's been up at world level for a long, long time. He's been in with a load of good fighters, and just wanted to see what he had, really. And, I mean, look where we are now.
You start letting your hands go, 7, 8, 9. It got pretty attritional, and you hurt him in those moments. Did you sense that was when the tide started to really turn in your favour?
Yeah, I think I hurt him in round 8. I felt like I kind of had round 9 off. Just had a look at him. I thought he was going to come and have a big round, and then I'd be able to step on round 10. But he didn't come out as I thought he would. But listen, we got the win. That was the most important thing.
Tony, you've worked with this man his whole career. How proud are you that he's finally got that big win that he deserves so much?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's beat a major superstar really tonight, and when you look at his resume, like he's only lost to Golovkine and Canelo. You know, and then John's beat him tonight. It's incredible, you know, and John really should be a world champion, really. Do you know what I mean? And he's beating major names like that. I'm just hoping Eddie can lure Canelo to the Wembley Stadium now, because you know Canelo wants to fight in the UK, and but obviously he hasn't had an opponent up to now, but he's got one there in John Ryder.
Eddie, over to you. I mean, I guess the super middleweight division at the moment dominated by Canelo, and very much what he decides to do will dictate the opportunities that come John's way, won't it?
Yeah, I think, look, Zaur obviously wants to fight in the UK. He's got his plans prepared and nearly locked in for this year, but I think if he wants to fight in the UK, he's got the perfect opponent. You know, I don't see any other super middleweights in the country I hope that have standout victories like that. John Ryder just beat Daniel Jacobs tonight. You know, and it was his attrition that got him through that fight, his desire to win that fight. And he's been on the end of a lot of bad decisions. Tonight was a very close fight, could have gone either way, but it was one that went his way. And I think when you look back on his career, at the times when he might not have got the decision, tonight he deserved the decision. And it's a massive win for him, because Tony and Charlie have put a lot of pressure on us to deliver. We brought Daniel Jacobs to Alexandra Palace, and like Tony says, Daniel Jacobs has lost to Gennady Golovkine and Canelo Alvarez, but tonight he lost to John Ryder. And of course, it's a massive victory for John Ryder, and I hope he goes on to fight for a world title, because he really deserves it.
John, just a quick word before we go on the fans and the support you've had tonight, because this North London faithful have followed you here. How's it been?
It's been great. I mean, I've not boxed in London since 2018 now. Been on the road, Vegas, Liverpool, Miami, and Austria. Now back to North London, Alexandra Palace. Just thank you for turning out. Thank you, Eddie, for getting in here. Thank you, Tony, Charlie, Dan.
All right, we're going to stop it right there, move on to the next subject. But, you know, since we're going to be talking about Canelo was expected to return. When is Cinco de Mayo this year? Let me check real quick on the calendar. I believe it's May the 7th. You know, I'm guessing, you know, Vegas, I'm guessing, you know, only assuming. So sometime in the next, I'm going to say 6-8 weeks, you know, being generous, we're going to hear who Canelo's next opponent is. I'm talking about an official announcement. Now, nothing is set in stone. Eddie Reynoso, last I checked, released a tweet or so saying that nothing is confirmed for Canelo's next opponent. According to ESPN's Mike Coppinger, Canelo, if he fights Charlo, it'll be a one-fight deal for about, what, $45 million or so. That'll be on Showtime pay-per-view, May the 7th. Jermall Charlo just recently was arrested and jailed for an altercation with a family member. Them Charlos, man, they always in some shit, you know, just like, you know, but that's just fighters and athletes in general, you know. 2-fight deal with DAZN, where he would fight Dmitry Bivol for his 175-pound WBA title. And after that, it would be a fight with Golovkine for in September or so for whatever. I'm guessing Golovkine, it's pretty safe to say that Canelo's not going down to no 160. He's going to make Golovkine move up to 168. Might even have it at a catch weight above 168, depending. You know, who knows? But me personally, as I said, I would rather have Canelo Charlo. Me personally, I like Canelo Charlo. But if he has the chance to fight Dmitry Bivol at 175, that's a good fight. Charlo, more known, you know, more marketable than Bivol, but nonetheless, still a good fight. Now, John Ryder, how he factors in, think about it like when Canelo fought Avni Yildirim, his WBC mandatory. Him going over to fight John Ryder in the UK would just be the spectacle of Canelo fighting in the UK in Wembley Stadium. It wouldn't be about John Ryder. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I think John Ryder has a chance to get a Canelo fight. But it would all depend on, you know, in May, I see Canelo fighting either Charlo or Bivol. That's the way I'm looking at it. Now, remember, Golovkine already has a contract, a deal to fight WBA super champion at 168 pounds to unify Ryota Murata. That fight is going to be happening in Japan. It's very, very, very big money. There's no getting out of that. There's no, it's happening. When Golovkine just started camp back up, I'm guessing, you know, we may get that fight, you know, in April or May to try to keep on that same timeline as Canelo. Then you have to also factor in, just to bring up, the DAZN pay-per-view. So don't be surprised if Canelo's fights on the DAZN are going to be pay-per-view too. Now, they've already been pay-per-view if you didn't have a subscription. So say, for example, if you wanted to watch Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders here in the States, but you didn't have the DAZN as a subscription, you still could have purchased it off of pay-per-view from the DAZN for, I think it was like $70, $75 or so. So to put things in a further perspective, let's go look at the rankings here on my beautiful website, FightView360.com. Link down below in the description box. Follow me on Twitter at TStreetControversy. Here's the 168-pound division. Canelo, undisputed. David Morrell, WBA world champion. John Ryder and David Morrell may be even forced to fight each other to be mandatory for Canelo. I really don't know how that works. David Lemieux and David Benavidez are going to be fighting. I'm not paying any attention to the David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade, whatever's going on, because they ain't fighting, you know, so I don't waste my time in fantasy bullshit. Demetrius Andrade, if not officially yet have done it, he is going to vacate his WBO title at 160 to face Zach Parker to be Canelo's mandatory at 168. So pretty much he's chasing Canelo to 168 pounds. And that's the best way I can, that's the movers and shakers in the 168-pound division right now. Benavidez Lemieux to be Canelo's mandatory, but don't be surprised if the WBC makes Canelo the franchise WBC champion. John Ryder, David Morrell, I wouldn't be surprised if they get ordered to fight and then the winner be Canelo mandatory, because the WBA wants to keep the belt on Canelo. They don't want to upset him and he may drop it. You see what I'm saying? IBF, what's going on with this? I got to do some research. I don't know what's going on with the mandatory situation with the IBF, but currently no one's ranked number 1 or number 2. Yes, Andre didn't want to fight his WBO mandatory, which makes sense. I mean, to me, I get it. 175, Artur Beterbiev and Joe Smith are working on the fight for May or June. That's going to be for the WBC, IBF, WBO belts at 175. And then Dmitry Bivol, he's waiting on if he's going to get Canelo or not. If Dmitry Bivol and Canelo don't fight, then I want to see Dmitry Bivol versus Gilberto Ramirez or Joshua Buatsi. And then you have Callum Smith right there too, now competing at 175 pounds. So I hope you were able to keep up with that, but that's pretty much what's going on. You know, the guys that are in the mix. And of course, down at 160, Jermall Charlo, if he doesn't fight Canelo, God knows who he's going to fight in the top 10 or 15 of the WBC. I won't be surprised if it's Salusky, Carlos Adames. That's who Jermall Charlo going to fight probably if he don't get Canelo. Unless he moves to 168 and vacates his 160 title. But I don't know. That's still cloudy. We don't know what's going on with there right now. The whole, basically, you know, the whole 3 divisions are waiting on Canelo and don't want to fight each other until they get Canelo. But if Canelo has a 3-fight 2022, see, the September and December is a little close, but he has done it before where he'll fight in December and then wanted to fight September and then want to fight in December. So if it does happen, something's telling me it's going to be Bivol in May, Golovkine, Murata winner in September, and then December it could be Charlo or John Ryder or whatever's going on with that in the UK. That's what I'm thinking is going on. All right. So let's see. Next on the topic, we got to look over Dan Rayfield's boxing schedule. I am a loyal subscriber to Dan Rayfield's Fight Freaks Unite. Best boxing schedule on the web. So let me tell you what fights I'm going to be covering this weekend. Just to look over some things here. Let's see here. I mean, I'm gonna watch the Showbox card, but if you know me, I don't really cover Showbox cards like that. We cover Showbox cards. Let's see. Okay, so of course on ESPN Plus at 1 p.m. Eastern this weekend, I am covering Amir Khan Kell Brook fight. The weigh-in, excuse me, the press conference is tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, my time. Likely going to be streaming that. And Friday, the weigh-in at 8 a.m. Eastern, and then we'll recap everything at like 8 p.m. Eastern. Natasha Jonas versus Chris Numas. I'm going to be covering that fight. Everybody else on this card, I don't know who these people are, but I'll be tuning in. The nighttime card, we get Jaime Munguia versus Dmitry Ballard, and William Zepeda. This is a fight I'm looking forward to. This guy's pretty nice. Versus Luis Veidas. But as far as Munguia, what the hell is he doing? I don't even know who, you know, and I've heard this name before, and I'm sure I've seen him fight, but who is this man? 20-0-1 with 13 KOs, Big Meech. I've had to see him fight before. I know I have, but I can't remember. Let's see, what card was this? Ulysses Jr. versus Ismail. This is a golden. I don't know who he is. Anybody giving him a chance? I'm gonna watch some tape probably. Anybody giving him a chance? Let's go look at Jaime Munguia. See, you know what I don't like about Munguia? How certain fans and certain media be like, yo, he's still green. He's still, you know, learning. I like that they taking it slow. Like, bro, he's a former world champion. Once you get up there, you become a contender and a world champion. Ain't no going backwards with me. It's like, no, bro. Like, no, you ain't gonna just keep like winning a belt, then go to a division and try to grow and shit. And then like, nah. 38-0 with 30 KOs, 25 years old. Gabriel Rosado, that was a good fight. Kermel Zepeda, all right. Was all right. Turiano John, see, they're not bad fights, but it's like, why are you not lobbying for a title shot? Like, I'm not trying to hear it. The Spike O'Sullivan, real long in the tooth over the hill. I'll never forget how he threw a sullied mankini at Anthony Ogogo, and it landed like right on his face. Like, ew. Just process what I did, the story I just told you. Like, there's tape out there of that. Like a mankini that he wore, like up his ass, like, and threw it at Anthony Ogogo. Anthony Ogogo had just lost the fight. And he threw it in the ring, and it landed on Anthony Ogogo's face, like the crotch part. Like, ew. Like, bro. Like, a part of me want to pull up the tape, but, you know, that you can do that at your own time. Dennis Hogan, Takashi Inoue, Brandon Cook. See, it's like this. Like, there's some good names, but then after Liam Smith, it's like, you know, they've been just like coasting. It's not that they're not bad names, but it's like they've been coasting, it feels like. Like coasting. I mean, for example, Ballard, he's undefeated. You know what? I got to do it. I got to pull up some tape. I got to pull up some tape now. I want to see something. Hold on. Give me a minute before we move on. So now I'm wondering, he definitely going to target that WBO title that Andre vacated. I'm pulling up some tape on Ballard. Let's go watch some footage. What's this? Let's see. Show me something. What's this? Oh, Headbutt City. Oh, Cat Quick. Oh, that's speed. I don't know, cuz. This is Ballard right here. Just eating his little pawed left hook. So he Headbutt City. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, you know. Well, yeah, he did lose the Hogan fight. Well, that fight's going to be on Saturday night on the DAZN. If anyone's interested in Jaime Munguia versus Dmitry Ballard. What else? Jorge Linares versus Zaur Abdullaev. Both of them fought Devin Haney. Abdullaev, I believe, was knocked out by Devin Haney. Let's see here. I don't remember the Abdullaev fight. I'm pretty sure he got stopped by Haney. And of course, if you don't know, Linares had cracked Devin Haney in a fight where Devin Haney was supposed to look good. It was supposed to be one of Devin Haney's like coming out parties, him and the Gamboa fight, and he just didn't turn up. Yeah, Devin Haney stopped him in 4. I remember this. There you go. And there you go. My shit just froze up. Linares, this is his first fight since the Devin Haney fight last May. So I wonder what this fight leads to. This has got to lead to something, right? So it's a good fight if you're not doing anything 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and you want to be watching some boxing on Saturday morning on ESPN+. So Linares is number 6 by the WBC. Still at 135. And because of his chin, he needs to stay as far away from 140 as possible. Abdullaev is, so it's an eliminator of sorts. Oh, and by the way, Isaac Cruz is looking like he's going to take on Yorkis Gamboa on the undercard of Errol Spence versus Yordenis Ugas. It's like, I just need Gamboa to wrap it up. Like, he's finished, you know? It's just like, bro, like, you know, come on. So, yeah, I'm guessing this Linares Abdullaev fight is an eliminator of sorts. I don't have the notes down here. And then, of course, at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be covering Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. Boxer. BOXXER. That's the promotional company. Frontman Ben Shalom. Many feel that money's being funded from somewhere else. Yeah, we got to talk about Devin Haney, Vasil Lomachenko, and George Kambosos. Now, me and Big J, we're going to go into detail on it, but here's my personal thoughts real quick. It's a bad look for George Kambosos and his team. It's because it's like y'all led that man on, making him think y'all was going to fight him. And at the end of the day, you know, you did what boxing is. Boxing is a business. You see what I'm saying? Boxing is a business. And they followed the, you know, that top rank money there. It's supposed to be, you know, according to, let me pull up the article. It's supposed to be a 2-fight deal. So just to put this out there, I think that Loma is going to beat Kambosos if the fight does happen. And then if he loses Kambosos, it's supposed to be a 2-fight deal. It's just like, you know, like, bro. I got a clip for you. We're going to play from a friend of mine over at the 3 knockdown rule, which you can catch on Triller, by the way. So listen to this. Listen to this. This is Egan's Clemus. This is Egan's Clemus on the 3 knockdown room with Mario Lopez Slater and Steve Kim. And he's talking about the plan for Loma and Kambosos. And I'm telling you, listen to this. It's looking like it's happening. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. And I'll put the whole link to the, let me pull it up, to the interview down below in the description box.
I have a very good feeling the fight is going to happen between Lomachenko and Kambosos. We're talking right now about a 2-fight deal, including if Lomachenko wins, to do a rematch. I know some interest coming from Australian government. We've been talking dates. I don't know, but it's, you know, it's hard to say right now. But most likely end of May, June, somewhere in that area.
You are willing to go to Australia?
We're willing to go. Not just willing to go to Australia. We're willing to move Lomachenko to do camp in Australia.
Wow.
Couple months before, because that way we can guarantee the fight is happening,
right?
Because the country can be closed, can be opened, you know, and to go all of this. So we, you know, if let's say the fight in May, so March, Lomachenko will be in Australia preparing for the fight. We don't have any reason why not to go there. We're including a rematch if they ask. So it's everything.
That's a huge event.
I guess if Kambosos goes a different direction, what is left then for Loma?
He's not going to retire and he's going to have all the 4 belts. That was his goal. Some weight class division, he needs to have a 4 belts. This is his right now goal, and he's going that direction.
Yeah, I really hope that fight goes. Is it out of the realm to think a Devin Haney fight, assuming that doesn't work out, is a possibility?
Yeah, well, Devin Haney, if Floyd will allow Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, there is good names in the weight class.
Yeah, but I'm realistic. I have no faith in these young lightweights. I call them the 4 caps. People call them the kings. I don't. Loma seems to be the one guy that wants to be a fighter.
Exactly. Well, Kambosos seems to be that guy too. If he steps up and he accepts this fight, then we'll see.
I hope he makes a decision soon.
So yeah, listen, that sounds like to me it's already done. That sounds like to me it's done. Loma, Kambosos, versus Loma for the WBC franchise, WBA Super IBF, WBO Ring Magazine Championship in last week of May, or, first couple of weeks of June. And if Kambosos loses, which I'm predicting he will, they fight again. That's it. That's the 2 fights right there for both of them. That's it. And Loma and Top Rank, they want those belts back under their stable bad. So no telling how much money they're throwing at it. And right now, I don't think that there's anything that Devin Haney can do, because the rumors are that the DAZN is not interested in the fight. Is not interested in Devin Haney and him not moving the needle or selling tickets. It's a damn shame, but that WBC title he has at 135 pounds, it means nothing. Now, Ryan Garcia, me personally, he's supposed to be coming back, fighting an Emmanuel. I forgot the guy's name, and I covered him before. Tagu. I don't want to, be disrespectful and butcher it, but I don't have any faith in Ryan Garcia. And I don't think, for whatever reasons, mental health or not, whether it's taboo to talk about, I don't think that, you should, pull out all these fights and then come back and be able to jump the line. You see what I'm saying? Now, Tank Davis, we don't know what he's doing or doing. One thing about PBC is when they have a fight in their mind, they make sure that they make their fight. So I'm seeing, them doing Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero. And yes, it's already been announced today that Lomachenko is now the WBO mandatory. But we should have already knew that was going to happen. We talked about this, or at least I did. After Lomachenko demolished Comey and Nakatani, I was like, yo, he's going to be the mandatory. Watch. After Loma versus Kambosos, Lopez versus Kambosos, I was like, he's going to be the mandatory. It's an ugly situation, because it's like, damn, all this Devin Haney's doing, and he still ain't going to be mandatory. So, what's the point of holding on to that belt? He's just like, you're not even really recognized. Like, it's kind of like a smack in the face. Kambosos and his side is going to take a lot of heat for this. Once I saw the Robert Garcia interview, and he was talking about how Lou DiBella called him up, thinking he was Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker for Golden Boy, instead of spilling all the beans. I was like, they're not fighting Devin Haney. They're doing everything to not fight Devin Haney. They're not going to fight him. And saying goes, follow the money. That's where Devin Haney, is lacking, like the marketability. He had 2 fights against Yorkis Gamboa and Jorge Linares where he was supposed to shine and make a statement, and, there's a new guy in town. And he didn't turn up like he was supposed to in those 2 fights. Those were supposed to be statement, trending type of fights that should have launched him up, and he didn't do it. Now, fighting Lomachenko, since we're talking about that, that's not, listen, Lomachenko, I have no issues with the fight. I wanted Devin Haney to clear up the political bullshit with the WBC franchise and WBC championship. That's what I wanted. You know, I wanted Haney versus Loma. You know, I wanted that. I thought it was going to happen. I didn't think that Loma deserved a WBC franchise status because before Luke Campbell, he was never a WBC champion. So I've been lobbying for Devin Haney, but if we get to see Loma versus Kambosos, I'm not, listen, Loma gonna school Kambosos. Get the belt back, get the belts back. And one thing we do know is Loma doesn't want to go to 140. You know, they do not want to go to 140. So the good thing is Devin Haney, he stays in the division. Maybe he gets a chance. But after Kambosos, if Loma beats both fights or whoever wins, they're going to try to go after Ryan Garcia Tank before Devin Haney. Devin Haney's in a tough situation. You know, one thing, you know, and it's like if he drop his belt, you know, and move up and go after another sanctioning body, will the same thing not happen, you know, up there too? And he's been talking about for quite some time, moving to 140, you know, moving up to 140. But at this point, I'm like, listen, he might as well, like, you know? And me, I'm covering the shit, watching the fights, going to the fights, and I have spoken to Devin Haney before in person, you know, and, you know, Teofimo Sr. and who was I talk to? We're speaking to these fighters and we're seeing like their progression from being like prospects to, you know, contenders to champions, and to see like the shit that they're going through. All these guys from Lomachenko, well, not Lomachenko, can't really count him, but Ryan Garcia, Teofimo, George Kambosos, Devin, Tank Davis, all these motherfuckers been talking for the better part of 2 years and not fighting each other. You know? The shit's getting old now. It's played out. Fed up. So with that being said, we are going to wrap up because we're going to be back tomorrow. I'm interested in the Brook press conference. So we're going to get back in the swing of things. I am going to be here streaming. You know, I'm dedicating it, you know, to make sure I'm going to be here streaming during Con versus Brook. You know, I need to, that's a part of the like new business plan. Like I need to be streaming during these boxing events, during these cards. You know, that's the wave of the future. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, we got to see what's going on with Dylan White. I don't know what is up with him. No, I haven't tried any. I've done shrooms before and I've done LSD years and years and years ago. I'm interested in some DMT. I want Mike Tyson to be my shepherd. I want to meet the toad. But anyway, let me get up out of here. I'm going to see you guys in the morning. We're going to be streaming the Con versus Brook final press conference. Take your time out, like the video, and T Street Controversy with Fight View 360.